Our Earth hides too many secrets. Some places that are scientifically impossible, yet they truly exist. Moving stones. Eternal flames beneath waterfalls. And death lakes that can petrify animals. In this episode, we will delve into 15 scientifically impossible phenomena. But these magical places actually exist. And these places will redefine what you know about our planet. If you're new to the channel, welcome to subscribe. Turn on the notification bell, so you can watch more amazing content as soon as it's released. Alright. Now, our story begins. Number 15. Rainbow Falls. Rainbow Falls is a natural wonder. Spectacular and beautiful, massive streams of water plunge vertically from high cliffs. In the sunlight, rainbows suddenly appear in the mist. People can't help but marvel at the wonders of nature. The formation of rainbow waterfalls actually involves some simple physical phenomena. When sunlight shines on the mist created by the waterfall, the light penetrates through those small water droplets. Inside the droplets, the light undergoes refraction, reflection, and even dispersion, just like light passing through a glass prism. Its area is about 10,582 square kilometers. This is equivalent to the size of Hawaii in the United States. This vast marsh was once the site of a prehistoric lake. As time passed, the lake water evaporated, leaving behind thick layers ranging from about 1 to 10 meters. Beneath these layers lies rich lithium resources. It is one of the largest lithium deposits in the world. Lithium can be used in batteries. This point goes without saying. Everyone understands. The Uni Salt Flat is also known as the world's largest mirror. This title comes from its unique natural phenomenon during the rainy season. In the rainy season, the surface of the salt flat gathers a thin layer of water. This layer of water perfectly reflects the scenery of the sky, including white clouds, the blue sky and sunset, create an effect like a massive mirror, reflecting the sky on the ground, creating an incredible visual spectacle. This phenomenon is not only beautiful and grand, but also extremely rare. Standing here, you feel as if you're walking between the sky and the earth. It has attracted countless photographers and travelers to experience and capture this peculiar natural landscape. Number 13. Zhongguang Coast. Imagine this. At night by the sea, when you touch the seawater, suddenly the surface of the water glimmers with blue light. It's like performing magic. What kind of feeling would that be? This marvelous phenomenon is actually the result of some special marine algae performing. They are called bioluminescent algae. They are a type of very tiny marine organism. You can only see their true form under a microscope magnified 100 times. The reason bioluminescent algae can glow, it is actually a chemical reaction called bioluminescence. When these algae are hit by waves or disturbed by boats, or even by human activity, they convert the chemical energy within them into light energy, producing beautiful glowing light. The bioluminescent algae not only provide a unique visual experience, but they also have their own little thoughts. Through their glow, dinoflagellates can move to escape predators that want to eat them, or attract mates in this way. Of course, this natural light show isn't seen everywhere. It mainly occurs in specific ocean areas. It's especially common in warmer waters. Number 12. Moving Stones. In Death Valley, California, there's a dry lake bed, scattered with many large stones. What's special about these stones is that they have long trails behind them, as if they move on their own. The stones move. It sounds a bit unbelievable, but it's a real phenomenon. So how do they achieve that? Scientists have studied this. They discovered this peculiar phenomenon is caused by a combination of various natural conditions. In winter, the nighttime temperatures are extremely low. Moisture on the lakebed of Death Valley slowly forms a thin layer of ice. Then during the day, with sunlight shining through, these thin layers of ice begin to melt. If at this moment, a sudden wind arises, The wind force can push the ice blocks to move, since the stones are wrapped in the ice. As the ice moves, they are also carried along. So, the phenomenon of moving stones appeared. Although it seems simple, it is actually a very rare natural phenomenon that requires special conditions. It occurs only under specific temperature and wind conditions, combined with the flat and hard lake bed. This is when the phenomenon of stones moving takes place. 11th. Five Colors River. The Five Colors River is a very unique river. It is located in the Serranía de la Macarena mountain range in the Meta department of Central Colombia. The most distinctive feature of this river is that the water displays a kaleidoscope of colors during different seasons. That's why people call it the Five Colors River, or sometimes the Rainbow River. The colors of the river are not due to the water itself, but because there is a special aquatic plant at the bottom of the river. Acarenia cla vigor. This plant grows under specific conditions, generally appearing only from June to November. When the water flow is sufficient, and the sunlight is moderate, these plants grow very lushly, showing vibrant colors, similar to red, yellow, green, blue, and black. Among them, red makes up the majority. However, the river looks beautiful, but the river's aquatic ecosystem is actually quite fragile. To protect it from the impact of excessive tourism, the Colombian government and environmental organizations have limited the number of visitors. Only 200 people are allowed to visit daily. This is done to reduce damage to the riverbed and aquatic plants. Our TCUTUE ensures that the Chocolate Hills can continue for a long time. Ranked 10th. Chocolate Hills. The Chocolate Hills in the Philippines are a very unique and captivating geographical wonder. Located in Bohol province in the central part of the country, there are over 1,200 hills. Their shapes are mostly round. The height and width are about the same. They are arranged very neatly. It looks just like giant chocolate candies. That's why it's named Chocolate Hills. The small hills of Chocolate Hills are primarily made of limestone. They are covered with a thin layer of soil and grass. These hills usually range from 30 to 50 meters in height. The highest can reach up to 120 meters. How the Chocolate Hills were formed. There are various theories in the scientific community. For example, the theory of underwater uplift. This theory suggests that these hills were formed from ancient coral reefs. Later, tectonic uplift exposed these reefs above sea level. Another explanation is river erosion. This theory states that these hills were formed by the erosion of underground rivers. As the river flows, it erodes the limestone strata. This ultimately resulted in these unique circular hills. Another theory suggests that it is due to rainwater erosion. Intense rainfall may have dissolved the limestone, facilitating material loss in certain areas. This ultimately formed the isolated hill structures. However, these are just speculations. As for how the Chocolate Hills were formed, there is still no authoritative explanation. 9th. Waitomo Glowworm Caves. The Waitomo Caves are a very famous tourist attraction in New Zealand's North Island. They are located in the Waitomo region. This name means water flowing through a cave in Maori. When you walk into the Waitomo Glowworm Caves, the first thing you notice is the wide cave entrance and the stairs leading down underground. As you descend these stairs, you will arrive at a hall known as Paradise. Here, you'll find natural limestone formations all around. They look both mysterious and magnificent. Of course, the most captivating part is definitely the sparkling blue-green spots on the cave ceiling. These are bioluminescent glows produced by glowworms. They create a starry effect in the darkness. It feels as if you're floating in a silent outer space. The glowworms inside the Waitomo Glowworm Caves are unique to New Zealand. In fact, they are not real fireflies. They are the larvae of a type of gnat, known as Arachnocampa luminosa. The larva uses the bioluminescence it produces to attract prey. They hang glowing silk threads on the ceiling of the cave. When small insects are drawn to these glowing spots from the larvae, they get stuck to the threads. After that, the larva climbs onto the thread to feed on the trapped insects. Number 8. Magnetic Hill of Moncton. Magnetic Hill in Moncton is a tourist attraction located in Moncton, New Brunswick, Canada. It showcases a very interesting natural optical illusion. When you drive to a specific location, and then put your vehicle in neutral, you will notice that your car seems to roll uphill automatically. Subsequently, when the car arrives at a certain location, you will discover that your car can actually roll downhill on its own. It's as if a huge magnet is invisibly pulling your car forward and backward. So this area is also known as Magnetic Hill in Moncton. However, in reality, there is no magnet here. All of this is caused by visual effects. Simply put, when you're in neutral, what you think is uphill is actually downhill. That's why the car moves forward uncontrollably. And when the car reaches a certain point, it uncontrollably rolls backward. It's because it reached the peak at that point, and then just started sliding down. All of this is caused by the terrain and environment of the area. It's like rolling a small object. What you think is uphill, but when you place a small ball on it, it surprisingly rolls upward against gravity, completely defying the laws of physics. But if you zoom out, you'll see. This is really just a visual trap. It's simply a downhill slope. The bench there can be understood as the surrounding mountains. The small slope is the road we just saw, and the small ball is the car. If we had a God's eye view, that magnetic mountain in Moncton, it can basically be understood as such a scene. 7th place, Eternal Flame. This place is famous for a small flame behind the waterfall. The waterfall isn't very large, but the most striking feature is the flame hidden in a small cave behind the waterfall. This flame comes from a natural gas vent underground, released into the air through rock fissures, ignited here. The eternal flame has been burning for how long? There are no exact records. This flame is sustained by natural gas seeping from underground. It may have existed for hundreds or even thousands of years, but the specific time is hard to determine. As for when the flame was first ignited, there is no detailed record of the lip history. It was likely discovered by early explorers or local residents. They found a natural gas seep. They ignited it. Additionally, the eternal flame is not eternal. It is said that during its burning process, it can be extinguished by rain, but it will quickly be reignited by passing tourists. Number 6. Spotted Lake. Spotted Lake is a very unique lake located in British Columbia, Canada. A very special lake. Its formation can be traced back 200 million years. It's called Spotted Lake. It's because in the summer, the lake appears with many colorful circles. They look just like spots. These circles are formed by different substances dissolved in the lake water, mainly including magnesium, calcium, and potassium, etc. As summer temperatures rise, the lake water gradually evaporates. The substances become concentrated, forming various colored circles. The colors of the lake are very rich. Some are due to different types and concentrations of substances. Others may be caused by the activity of certain microorganisms. For example, some sulfur-containing substances can exhibit yellow or green colors under sunlight. Other substances may show white or blue. This special landscape of the Spotted Lake is most pronounced in summer, because this is when the lake water evaporates the most. The material spots are most concentrated and bright. In winter, these spots will disappear. The lake surface will return to a normal lake. But the Spotted Lake is beautiful. However, it doesn't guarantee that every lake is like this. For example, Lake Natron, known as the Lake of Death. 5th place. The Lake of Death. Lake Natron is located in northern Tanzania. It is a very unique lake, because its water is extremely salty. It also contains many chemical substances. The lake's pH level reaches as high as 10.5, which means it's far more alkaline than regular soapy water. As a result, most plants and animals cannot survive there. The lake's water sometimes appears red or pink. This is mainly due to the high concentration of red algae in the water. This type of algae can thrive in extreme environments. Located in Lake Natron, it has another name, known as the Lake of Death. This is because its water can cause severe chemical burns to the skin and mucous membranes of animals, their eyes and respiratory tracts, cause the animals to die quickly from excessive pain and injury. Additionally, the high levels of pollution in the lake can lead to water contamination and poisoning. These factors combined mean that once the animals fall into the lake, the chances of survival are very low. Moreover, these animals will turn gray all over in the aftermath. It's as if they've fallen under some kind of dark magic, similar to the petrification effect in movies. Of course, this is a more exaggerated way to put it. Scientifically speaking, when an animal accidentally falls into this mineral-rich lake water, Its surface quickly becomes coated with these chemicals, forming a hard shell. The surroundings of Lake Natron appear visually petrified. Yet, its environment is so extreme, but it is a paradise for some animals. Similar to the lesser flamingos of East Africa, these birds nest on certain islands in the lake, and their predators dare not approach Lake Natron. Fourth place. Rainbow Mountain. Located in the Andes of Peru. This mountain features a variety of colorful stripes, which are particularly striking under sunlight. The reason it displays rainbow-like colors is due to the geological structure containing various substances. These substances, over a long period of geological changes, have undergone different degrees of oxidation and other chemical reactions, ultimately forming distinct colors. Rainbow Mountain has a total of 7 colors. They are red and pink. This part is primarily produced by the oxidation of iron. The yellow and orange parts may come from compounds of iron and other materials. Green may be related to copper. Blue and purple may be due to the presence of other rare materials. Third place. Blood Falls in Antarctica. The Blood Falls in Antarctica is a very unique natural phenomenon. It is located at the Taylor Glacier in East Antarctica. The name might sound a bit intense. Because the water of the falls is red, it looks just like blood. But it's actually not real blood. The red color is completely caused by a natural phenomenon. The main reason is that there's an ancient body of water beneath the falls. This lake has been frozen for at least 1 million years. The environment inside is extremely harsh. It's perpetually cold. The density is high. The freezing point of the water in the lake is lower than that of normal water, so it remains in liquid form. Combined with the high density of the water, it seeps into the glaciers. Some water moves within the glacier, seeping through low points or cracks. As the water moves, it can, due to pressure, friction, and other factors, heat up locally, melting the surrounding ice, and forming channels. These channels eventually allow the water to reach the glacier's surface. Scientists have discovered that the water also contains a high level of iron. When iron oxidizes upon contact with air, it appears red, just like rust. So when this iron-rich lake water flows out of the glacier, it forms the red blood falls we see. Second place. Devil's Kettle. The Devil's Kettle is a natural wonder in Minnesota, USA. Here, you can see a waterfall flowing down the mountain split in two. One stream flows normally into the river, while the other branch flows into a mysterious cave. The cave is like a giant kettle. Even more amazing is that in the past years, scientists have conducted many experiments. They threw a lot of things into the Devil's Kettle. For example, ping pong balls and even GPS tracking devices. They wanted to know where this outflow was headed, where the thrown objects would come out. However, these items ultimately disappeared mysteriously. They were never found. It's about the Devil's Kettle. Where does the water inside actually flow? Currently, there is a hypothesis in the scientific community. One of the more popular theories is the underground river hypothesis. This theory suggests that the water may flow through a hidden underground river to nearby lakes or other places. But it still doesn't explain where the things that can't be thrown away go. So, a second hypothesis arises. The theory is that after the water enters the ground, it flows through cracks and cavities in the rocks. But these cracks may be too small, so the tracers could get stuck, making it impossible to flow out, or even be detected. Of course, there are other theories too, but none of this has been confirmed by scientists. The direction of the water flow in the Devil's Kettle remains a mystery to this day. First place. Dry Lake Desert. Located in the Lencois Maranhenses National Park. This area is filled with countless white sand dunes and small lakes. Thus, it is also known as the Dry Lake Desert. It is located in the Maranhão state of northern Brazil. The area covers 1,500 square kilometers. The Dry Lake Desert is located near the equator. It has unique desert landforms, but it is not as arid as typical deserts. The rainfall here is actually quite abundant. However, most of the rainwater is quickly absorbed. There are rarely any lasting rivers or lakes. But during the rainy season each year, from January to June, rainwater collects in the low areas between the sand dunes, forming thousands of clear lakes. The depth of the lakes is generally around 3 meters. The color of the water varies from blue to green, depending on its depth and the light's reflection. Although these lakes are temporary, They nurture a wealth of life. This includes various types of fish, insects, microorganisms, and some terrestrial organisms. During the rainy season, these lakes become their habitat, thriving and flourishing. It's a scene of vibrant prosperity. The abundance of wildlife in the Gonhai Desert. Even the nearby villagers come to this area to cast nets for fishing. It's easy to catch about 30 gene of fish in a day. When the dry season arrives, these lakes gradually dry up, and the sand dunes re-emerge. At this time, the creatures that once lived in the lake, they burrow into the soil, and survive. For example, some catfish, during the dry season, can hibernate in the moist environment deep beneath the dunes. When the rainy season arrives, and water refills the lakes, these fish awaken and become active. Food and reproduction. Alright, that's all for this episode's content. What do you think about these 15 most mysterious places? Feel free to share your thoughts. Thank you for watching. If you like it, please subscribe to my channel. Yada opens the small bell. This way, you won't miss more interesting content. See you in the next episode.